Hey guys, so let's talk about the Diva issue, right? So Diva was Wasafi worker who 1 minute he's in Wasafi, 1 minute he's quitting. So I followed this story the better part of last night, and today in the morning, of course, I've already listened to the phone call between her and my mother. And I think this time round, she's leaving for sure, for sure. I don't think it's clouds. Well, based off of some of the things that she said on that phone call, I think she really wanted to leave regardless. It's just that they probably used to pay her to come back. So one of the real reasons why she's leaving is they're not being paid at Wasafi. Okay, they haven't been paid for many months. These are some of the things that, of course, Mangi Kimambi talked about before she stopped talking about celebrity gossip. I wish she could have just stayed there a little bit longer instead of these politic things, right? Mangi said that Wasafi was going under, workers were not being paid. Of course, last year, we saw a lot of Wasafi workers, leaving Wasafi, and of course later on we are seeing them coming back, trying to rebrand, change the color. Diamond did this big interview to welcome Wasafi back, and so on and so forth. So as we are going through this, they showed us, how they changed the renovations, and of course they even termed it the best studio in East Africa. And I'm like, you guys are doing all the renovation, but you're not paying your workers. Goddamn. But anywho, what do I know? So it seemed like Diva got tired of it, because she said it has been going like that for at least 3 years. 1 minute they're being paid, they have to wait for 3-4 months without being paid, and they have bills to pay, right? So on this same Wasafi, Diva is also adding the real reason why she also did not want to continue being there is because her fellow presenters were discussing her issues on the show. She expected them to be a little bit lenient, I'm saying, not to air her out wherever she was going in it with the husband. But, she did not like that. So she had beef with the one of Wasafi presenter who passed away last year, Dida. And this Wasafi presenter was best friends with Beach Kole. They used to do the same segment, right? And Diva was just talking about, she already quit Wasafi. She was just talking about, her experiences with Wasafi, And she talked about her situation with the Dida. And she said that Dida actually asked me for forgiveness before she passed away. And Bichkole felt like you had no right to talk about my friend who passed away. And Bichkole went on Wasafi at the segment and, say so many nastiest things about Diva, called her 7 faces, honey, because she be using AI the most. And Bichkole ought to have known that this lady Diva, she is not the type to keep quiet, honey, because she is very mouthy too. So she decided to put everybody on blast. Diamond Platinum's alleged side chick, Aliyah, right, decided to laugh about some comments that Bichkole made. And honey, let me tell you that Diva placed her flat on the ground with the insults, telling her that, girl, I know you who still stand a simp for Diamond Platinums. You all know that the relationship between Diva and Diamond Platinums allegedly is something that everybody knew in the office. So she called out Aliyah. So it was the most. Also added on how Aliyah and others are trying to look for an opportunity at Crown Media. Mind you, Crown Media is Ali Kiba's media house. Honey, it is a lot. Okay, I'll try and see if I'll be able to play some of that clip before I read to y'all. Diva doubling down. Okay, she doubled down on Wasafi presenters, starting with Aliyah trying to look for a job with Crown, because at Wasafi people are not being paid, people's apartments are being closed. Diva talked about how she got sick, she couldn't even pay her rent, she couldn't take herself to the hospital. It was too much, okay? She also talked about how, the real reason why, of course, they asked her, why were you always praising Diamond, saying that he's paying you the most? She said that is the only way Okay, her speaking like that is the only way that Diamond used to give her money wherever she had a problem after, praising him a couple of times like that. She also added it was Zuchu who told her on how to go about asking Diamond for money. So without further ado, let me play you a little bit of clip here.
Nimeacha kazi, kuna shangana shambuliwa na ninavyoambiwa ni kikundi maalum kimekaa kinatumwa kunishambulia na wengine wanalipwa kwenye magrupu na makundi, ndio hizo comment unaona zilizojaa.
Una uhakika? Lakini nimeona unalalamika hujalipwa mshahara kuanzia Disemba.
Ndio Disemba ile. Disemba ndio kuanzia mwezi wa 11 wa 10 ndio wakati wa mambo uchaguzi wa 10 12 sina senti. Tumekuja mwezi wa kwanza wa pili.
Subiri kwanza. Ukisema haulipi mshahara, hauna senti, wakati unafanya kazi kwa Diamond Platinum. Mbona mara zote umekuwa ukimsifu kwamba Diamond ana hela?
Kwa sababu nampenda na nilikuwa baada ya vitu nikitaka ananipa. Mfano nilipokuwa na matatizo ya yako alinisaidia na shukuru on that. Ananipa ninachotaka. Nilikuwa napata ushirikiano mzuri sana kutoka kwa Zuchu. Alikuwa ananishauri kina hiki na hiki. Lakini challenges nilizopitia ni zile kuongelewa vibaya kwenye shows.
Kwani una tatizo lolote na Alia?
Una uhakika? Hata matatizo naye. Sina hata matatizo naye, nilikuwa ninampenda. Kwa hiyo kama yeye anashangilia kwa sababu anabembeleza mapenzi. Mimi sibembelezi mapenzi, mimi na taaluma yangu. Yeye mbona kaenda kuomba kazi Crown? Au ajui kama Alia na wengine wameomba kazi Crown?
Asubiri kwanza.
Lord of mercy. Hey, this is too much, yo. This is too much. Of course, she talked about, how it's not only Aaliyah, but a lot of Wasafi Media House presenters have already sent the request at Crown. They want to be employed there. That in Wasafi things are not so good. She did not really have a problem per se like that in the past because, once in a while, after praising Diamond used to give her money, but the fact that they used to talk bad about her. She also said that there are a couple of people in the groups and, of course, bloggers who are being paid. I don't know with who. I don't know if it's Pichkole or Diamond Platinums, because she also blamed Diamond for allowing people to talk bad about her at Wasafi, and I'm like, people talk bad about Zuchu in Wasafi and Diamond and doing shit. What makes you think that Diamond will do any ish to you? But of course, she said that people are being paid to tarnish her, to put bad comments about her wherever Wasafi is talking about her. So it's too much, okay? Apparently, Miss Mamas was not happy with how Aaliyah was celebrating on how Bichole was insulting her. And of course, she said in Swahili, Aaliyah anashangilia nini wakati wewe umeomba kazi Crown? Why are you celebrating? And you've also asked, a job for a rival radio station. So she also wrote this. Let me try and translate it from Swahili to English and see if it will make sense. So it says in a quote, they've started with me, and everyone has seen, especially that woman, to sit calmly. It is not you who look like you are being beaten by several cold men. Doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me, but regardless, it definitely shows that there's definitely something up. Okay, this is something that I heard, especially from Mangi, way back. Of course, Diva is saying this thing started off at least 3 years ago, of where, sometimes they will be paid. And then sometimes, for example, now she's saying they were paid November last year money, and then they were paid in April, and then, oh God, it was too much. And of course, Bichkole continued to insult Diva, saying that, people are happy that you've left. You are like a nemesis, like you are not really, a good presenter like that. And of course, some are asking, why are you trying to make it seem like Aaliyah and Diamond has something going on? You want people to hate on Aaliyah too. And I'm like, but Diva is not the first person to talk about Aaliyah and Diamond Platinum's supposed romance. How she only said on that clip that Aaliyah is forcing love. Aaliyah is forcing affection from Diamond Platinum. That's why she's seemingly being seen like, she's a ride or die Wasafi, but deep down she's also suffering. That's why she's trying to look for an opportunity elsewhere. Anyway, tell me how you feel about it down in the comment section. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment. Follow me on IG at Drizzy_radio. And of course, I love you to the moon and back. Ciao, ciao.